Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to this edition of LinkedIn Live series that we have titled Regal Live Series. This is number 7. And today we have with me PK Narayanan, who has come before, but those of you who are going to watch this for the first time, PK is a good friend first, a fellow coach, a CEO coach, and also a scale-up coach. By profession, he's a chartered accountant, has been a CEO, and has moved into coaching almost 11 years back. End of this month, he'll be completing 11 years in coaching profession itself. An avid traveler. I was telling a common friend yesterday, if not, he would have made a great travel guide. Yesterday, I was telling Supriya, who was at our office. So that's his hobby. Touring with PK is a site that you should check if you have an interest in history and travel. Because that's very important for us. Hobbies are important for us. So now, the topic that we have selected today is the importance of the visibility. So PK, naturally, the first question is, as a practicing coach, former corporate leader, what does visibility mean to you?
Visibility, thank you, Subhash, for that kind introduction. Visibility in one sentence, if I were to say, is we need to be there where prospects are searching.
Yeah. So, PK is a master of brevity. So I'm still waiting for you to continue. Yeah, you have to be there where your prospects are searching or where prospects are. And just an example, as a CEO coach, where do you present yourself so that they can find you? Just as an example.
Yeah, sure. See, Subhash, when we talk about visibility, is there a echo? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we talk about visibility, we are talking about marketing. Okay, how do we market our coaching business? So before answering your question exactly where, as a CEO coach, I am trying to be visible, I just want to highlight a couple of things, 2 things. One is that in marketing broadly, we have inbound and outbound strategies, that is pull and push. So for both pull and push, that requires an identified, clearly defined target segment. That is the part of the market that we are addressing, the kind of prospects that we are servicing, So it's about positioning in a way that we identify the target segment that we choose to service. So creating visibility, the first and foremost thing to do is to define our prospects, define our target segment. The second one is obvious, reach them successfully. Yeah. In this day and age, having a digital presence through a website and having an appropriate social media presence, and along with some SEO and some basic, these seem to be basic needs. I think this is very basic thing that we need to do. So here, when you talk about CEO, being a CEO coach, obviously I have a defined segment, that is CEOs of businesses. So it is defined to the level that is as narrow as possible. So my definition of my target segment, just for an example, is CEOs of small medium enterprises with turnovers ranging from 20 to 100 crores. And where do I find them? To an extent, I have fairly good SEO already established. These SEO efforts are around 8 years old. 8 years it's going on. So it has got some prominence for the keywords, 30 to 35 keywords. And, and then we have a fairly attractive website. And then LinkedIn, because many of them are in LinkedIn, my prospects. So those are the social media platform that and the digital presence that I have. And a very important part, Subhash, to reach them is content marketing. Just being there and having a profile is not good enough. We need to feed the customers. We need to feed the prospects rather. We need to feed them with some valuable content from time to time. So content marketing, the type of content that we choose, three things comes into play there. One is the type of contents that we share, how we add value to our prospects and market segment. Second is the frequency at which we share. And the third is consistency with which we share. Yeah, so this establishes trust, reliability before they even come to you.
I really want to underline, when we cover marketing coaching services in a curriculum, I always give the example of PK for the benefit of listeners. The consistency or the discipline, is something that PK exemplifies. And I think that is more important, PK, than even the quality or the creativity. Being present is more important than,
Yeah, I mean, I cannot overemphasize the importance of appropriate frequency and consistency, because people need to be seeing you consistently. And consistency also means that, they can expect some value from you over a period of time. And the type of content, again, needs to be tailor-made to the consumption pattern of the prospects. See, for example, if you write a 4-page article for a CEO client or a CEO prospect, it's I would consider it waste of time. Because none of them read anything more than one mobile screen. So my blogs are 20-second reads. So it will have some 3 sentences, very, very rarely 4th sentence. And the videos that I create with content that is relevant to my prospects are normally 40 to 50 seconds. So again, content needs to be user-friendly for the prospect. So it is not one size fits all. So depending on the target segment that we choose, depending on the prospects that we define, we need to map their preferences. We need to map their behavior. We need to map their consumption pattern and then provide the relevant content at the frequencies that is neither more nor less and consistently.
So I hope listeners are picking up every key word that PK is saying, because it's being relevant, being consistent, and then addressing them in a way that makes sense for them. Yeah, I mean, that's client centricity at its best. And CEOs are hard pressed for time. So, we need to address in a way that makes sense for them. And at the same time, since I am on your mail list, the WhatsApp list, every post is thought provoking also, which is also the objective of coaching. So one question that comes to me is, a lot of coaches, fellow coaches, have this reluctance to be visible. What is your take on it?
So we need to see where is it coming from. So we need to get coached on that. Visibility is not a crime, and rather it's a must. It's a necessity in this noisy world. We need to be visible means we need to be standing out. So we need to get differentiated. We need to propagate that competitive advantage. We need to articulate and reach our audience with the competitive advantage that we have in the market. It's not easy. It's not easy even for a consumption person. Even for a prospect, he's bombarded. And he needs to get signals from the noise. So we need to help them to help find us.
Very true. So we need to help them to find us is the key word. I've heard somebody say it is selfish not to sell coaching. So if you are in the business of coaching as professional coaches like you and me, then it is selfish if you're not selling in the real sense. Though a lot of times selling is seen as pushing it down the throat, hard sell. No, that is not the case. So, you spoke about as a CEO coach, how do you turn up within the target segment, right? I mean, I was wondering, CEO could be a startup CEO, a small SME, MSME like me, to a Fortune 100 company CEO. So you answered that already. But what are some of the common mistakes that people make in the area of visibility?
Okay. Just to touch upon what you mentioned last, that, I lost the trail. I mean, you were mentioning about selling. Yes. We don't need to sell. If we market well, we don't need to sell.
Well said.
I think before a prospect gets in touch with me, he already knows 40-50% of what I do and what they get. And before we get into a chemistry session, we are already 40-50% aligned. And therefore, only the rest that we need to sprint during the chemistry session. So that is one aspect. If you get your marketing things right, your selling effort is far less. That is one aspect of it. Second, mistakes, rather than, I have not invested myself too much into mistakes, but definitely what I find lacking is clarity on our target segment. So if you just imagine you are shooting in the dark, what is the probability of hitting the target? So we need to really look at the 700 crore people in the world and choose maybe a population of few thousands. If it is few thousands, you have got it absolutely spot on. I mean, even if it is few lakhs, and then you narrow it down to few thousands, could be the iteration. So first and foremost is that I would say we as coaches, we think we can coach the whole world. That doesn't happen in the marketplace. In the marketplace, we will be seen as only coaches addressing their problems, their challenges, and their solutions, and they don't relate with coaches. See, for example, somebody who wants to address some of his life coaching issues or some other coaching issues, they won't find me attractive, and I want them not to find me attractive because there are better people doing that in the market. So I need to focus on my craft, my domain, and become the best in there, and that way we become visible.
So we still go back to the need to define clearly what is your niche and then target them and communicate them. So you spoke about, just as an additional example for the benefit of viewers, if you have any questions, you can please put it on the chat. I can take it up with PK. PK would answer some of your questions. So if somebody says a life coach, I'm really helping the listeners, because as you know, that is the most searched keyword in coaching, life coach or life coaching. So what would be visibility for them?
It's a life coach again is a very, very, very vast area. I think the competitive advantage will be to narrow it down to what amongst those life coach issues that we address the best way, or what gives me the joy or energy, addressing what kind of a life issue that gives me energy. So it could be relationships, for example, or feeling low, or midlife crisis. All these are kind of niche. And again, midlife crisis again is a vast population. So you could still further position yourself further clearly there, or further narrow it down to attract the population. So life coach, in terms of issues, it is very vast. In terms of age group, it is very vast. It could be 10, 12, 15 years to maybe 70, 80 years. So it could be that parents, life coaching for parents, for example, life coaching for single mothers, life coaching for single fathers, life coaching for, it could be any of those. And, again, it could be issue-based as well, as much as, I see at least there should be some 30, 40 specializations in life coaching. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So, all life coaches, they're listening. Have you narrowed down your, niche into something very specific? Who is your ideal customer? What problem are you solving for them? Then look at how can I be more visible.
Yeah, the way to look at it, sorry, Subhash, the way to look at it is this, all the 140 crore people in India have some issue or the other, isn't it? Correct. So when I say life coaching, am I going to communicate with all the 140 crore? And is the consumption matter same for 140 crore? Is the consumption pattern the same for all the 140 crore?
That's more important. The consumption pattern is different from... today we talk about customizing individual. Even mass products are being customized. So, so how can you, when you have customized perfumes to other things, so how can you customize mass? Yeah. So, for the benefit of US PK, if you're okay, can you share what are some of the habits that you bring in to handle your visibility? If it's not too personal to ask that.
See, one is what I'm wearing. I have been wearing only this for the last 13 years. This is one way of visibility. Whoever have seen me in any professional environment or anywhere, except I am in some functions, they see me only in this. This is a free real estate, actually. Yeah. So right from here, such a mundane thing, right from here to your website, to consistently using the colors, consistently choosing to use certain colors. For me, it is, Ganges, the glacier blue and this gray, So consistency in everything that we do, that is how people relate with your brand. That is how people relate with, okay, this looks like something from that genre and that family. So, and then having the website also carrying, this. See, if I stand for simplicity, simplifying things and focus, etc., anything and everything that I do must be aligned to that. Yeah. So not being all over the place, being very intentional about the way we communicate, we articulate, and doing our own blogs, not getting it written by someone else, because that will bring their identity, their personality. So these are some of the things that we need to do ourselves. To brand, and it is worth the investment, I tell you, because whether it is writing blog or see, actually this 3-sentence blog, 3-4 sentence, don't think that I take lesser time. It actually takes more time than writing a 1-page blog. Yeah. Yes. You need to distill, and it takes time, but it is worth the investment. It is worth the investment because people relate with us over a period of time. They see me and they experience me even before they see me, right? So these are some of the things, intangibles by and large, but very important. And then your communication, it should be relevant. I mean, our content should be relevant to the target market. So they should get benefited somehow or the other, whether they are going to be paid customers or not. And we need to believe in giving more than receiving. So give more.
Giver versus taker. So, in terms of the professional time, you're someone who balance work and life brilliantly. So within the professional space, what percentage of time, ballpark, do you devote for, the visibility part of it, or the marketing part, the larger marketing?
Okay, the overall business development, overall thinking about business, thinking about solutions, thinking for the prospects who are not yet our customers, thinking for the issues that probably they are trying to find solutions for, and the content, etc. Subhash, it might be as high as 40 to 45%.
No, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because my guess was around 20-25%. 45% is a big investment. Yeah. And that shows up in the quality also. Yeah. So, those of you who have not checked, pknarayanan.com. Yeah. pknarayanan.com is his website. And, when PK did some edits recently, so I was happy to be part of some of the discussions. So I know what what has gone into this phase 2, some of the edits that he has done recently, and the glacier blue and the gray that stands out, the simplification stands out. So PK, I don't see any questions. So the last question before we sign off, we're at top of the time, is if there's one piece of advice for coaches community in the area of visibility, one magic pill. I know as coaches we don't give magic pill, but we're in the hat of a mentor. What is that one thing that we should do as coaches in the area of visibility specifically?
Bring yourself wholly to your business. So your visibility stands on you. So you need to stand there and bring yourself ahead of your coaching. Brilliant. Because people buy you, not your coaching.
Yeah, always, sure. And if I can add a second point to that, for me, 40-45% is the bare minimum that we should perhaps invest in our marketing, which would result in visibility.
That is after 10 years being there.
Exactly. So, which, frankly, one more last question, really last question. If you were to go back and do this all over again, the 11 years, PK, what would you do differently in the area of visibility? Is there anything that you would do differently?
I would have started SEO earlier. I would have been more intentional about my blogs and posts. I was 3-4 years too late.
So for all coaches who are just starting on the journey, that's a very valuable advice. Thank you, PK, for frank sharing as always. And friends, there is a question: do you have a team helping you, RSR?
I have an SEO service provider. I have a website maintenance provider, but every copy in the website is all written by me. Otherwise, they are maintenance plus design. Design is by someone, not mine. So there are some help in terms of website setup and SEO.
More the technical part of it, RSR. To paraphrase what PK said. Thank you all the listeners who have joined live, and I'm sure if you have any more questions, comment on LinkedIn. PK will look at it, I will look at it, and we'll try to answer those questions. Those of you who are coaches, when you coach, you transform the world, says one of those gurus in coaching. So play big, don't play small, invest in your visibility, and commit to the cause of coaching. Thank you, PK. See you next week.
Thank you very much, Subhash. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.